Today, we're going to be talking about when going after your goals feels really hard. So, the first thing that I want you to check in with is, am I achieving the goal the way that I want to? So, a lot of times, what happens is we set a goal and then our brain's like, here's the way that we have to do this. And it's often a way that we don't like. It's like, well, if we're going to lose weight, we have to do all these things we don't want to do. If we're going to build a business, then we have to do all these things we don't want to do. Instead of like, there's tons of different ways to achieve the goal. There's tons of different methods, there's tons of different ways to show up, different strategies. And so what we want to do is check in like, am I using the strategy that I actually like, that makes the most sense to me? Now, that doesn't mean that it's not going to be hard sometimes. It doesn't mean you get to avoid the failure. It doesn't mean you get to avoid the uncomfortable emotions. But I want you to notice what it feels like when you're like, okay, I'm doing the thing that I want to do. I'm achieving this goal the way that I want to, versus like, I have to do these things to achieve this goal. Like there's almost this different energy where it's like you're walking toward your goal and you're like having some fun. I mean, again, there's some discomfort, versus I'm like having to drag myself along the path. So it's really like checking in with you is like, if I could achieve this goal any way that I wanted, how would I do it? And then just start working on that. Because when we add in all these things like I have to, I should, I'm supposed to, it's kind of like adding in like rocks into our backpack. And so that's why it can definitely feel like, oh, we're just having to like pull along and it feels like we're having to drag something heavy, because we're actually going against the way that we actually want to be achieving our goal. And the way that I actually like to think about like the different strategies, like most of the strategies do work. Like someone has done this thing, it has worked for them, and that's why they're sharing it that way. And so I like to really think about like, well, if all of the strategies work, then which one would I pick? And then showing up and giving it a really good shot at doing it that way. Oftentimes our brain tells us, no, we can't do it that way. That one won't work. So we have to pick a different one. We have to pick the harder one. We have to pick the one that we won't do. And then it does that because it doesn't want us to achieve our goal, because it's like, that's scary and that's new and that's different. And so it's plain as, well, let's just tell you, you have to like go the harder route. You have to go the route that's not the most natural to you. It's the route that sounds the hardest and not the easiest and all of this, because then it becomes very discouraging. It becomes harder. Then the brain's kind of like, see, let's just forget about the goal. So I really want you to just check in with you is like, how do I want to achieve this goal? And then start doing it that way first. It's so frustrating to not know what's going on, trying to take action, it not working, you starting and stopping, it feeling so hard. Even if you are taking action, it feels like you're pushing through and it's taking so much effort and it's so much harder than it needs to be. And you're also not seeing the results that you want. It becomes very frustrating. So if you want to get out of this frustration cycle, take action easier, take more of the right actions and work with your brain, then go to successbykayla.com to get access to the Why You Aren't Taking Action video. Successbykayla.com to sign up now.